Oh, yeah. What's good, man? We're gonna talk about something today that I'm familiar with, or at least I believe I'm familiar with, because nobody ever understands. Are you kidding? Okay. Oh no, no, we not talking about games. You read the title. We're gonna talk about uh we're gonna talk about mass murder. We're gonna talk about what or why, possibly why, because you're not there. You can never know for sure why someone would go into a building and kill a bunch of people. For what reason, what purpose? What possibly could be going on? And then I may tell you why I I feel like I'm qualified to even render opinion, and I usually don't render opinions on such things because I rarely ever feel that I'm qualified. And I want to write this word down. I want to write this word down. And how, if you ever come across a person like this, that you may be able to stop it. Because, like, listen, the conservative people are wrong. And I'm no anti-gun person. I'm a gun person, trust me. But more guns aren't the answer. It's not the answer. And you're not going to go into the usual talking points because nobody's really trying to hear it. So, and I don't want to talk about this person in particular. So I would tell anybody about a mass shooter. Um, they're under a lot of stress. They're under a lot of pressure. Real or imagined, whether you agree with it or not, stop trying to filter illogical thought through a rational mind or irrational thought through a rational mind. Stop trying to do that. Um, Never mind what the fuck I'm doing. Pay attention to what the fuck I'm saying, right? Stop leaving stupid comments here. Um, and so you got a person under a lot of pressure, under a lot of stress, right? They're not happy. Maybe they're unemployed. Maybe they ain't got no girlfriends. They're mad at the Jewish people. They're mad at niggers. They're mad at Mexicans. Not necessarily white people, but most of the mass shooters just happen to have been white. When we're talking like what I call real mass shootings, right? Yeah, they're unhappy. They're under a lot of stress. They're blaming somebody. I don't have a job. I don't have a girlfriend. I can't get ahead. Can't do this and that. So they're under a lot of pressure. You're under really a lot of pressure, real or imagined. And so somebody's to blame for it, and I want to take it out on them, right? And you should probably ask them a lot of questions. I mean, because really, okay, so you ain't got a job, you mad, the niggers are responsible, the Mexicans are responsible, the Jews own the banks, they're holding everything the fuck up. And, so you want to go to a synagogue and shoot up the whole synagogue? Well, yeah, okay, so, or even like you say the police, Black Lives Matter and the police, and the police are doing wrong. And, there's bigots in the police, and the police, they get away with too much shit. Whatever your fucking thing is, right? And so you decide that, you want some vindication. You want to show them people. I'm gonna show them motherfucking people, right? And you're gonna get some. You gonna get some get back. You're gonna get even with them. And so you're gonna pick up a gun, a couple guns, and you're gonna go shoot up a whole bunch of people. Well, some of that is you're angry and you're stressed, and you don't know how to relieve that stress, right? And the other part of it is these are just the people in front of you because you can't get to the real people. So if we talk about the police and you're mad at the police sometimes, and what the police are doing, and you're mad at the police, sometimes you're mad at the police because you can't get at the people who are above the police. The legislature that gave the police the power to do the things that they did. The courts that gave the police the powers to do the things that they've done. The prosecutor who did not prosecuted. The judges who do the appellate court, the legislature who made qualified immunity, or the judge who made qualified. You can't get to the real people, so you get to the people in front of you, and you're trying to relieve the stress. So those are the people that you attack, the people in front of you, because those are the people you can get to. But now you got to ask yourself a question. You're under all this stress, and you got to have. This is the way you talk to somebody. When you get a hint of this is something that's in this person's mind. If you're under a lot of stress, will killing people relieve that stress? I mean, if you go to the park and you kill a bunch of niggers, or you kill a bunch of Mexicans, or you go to the synagogue and you kill a bunch of Jews, or you go to a fucking temple or whatever, wherever the goddamn Muslims pray, whatever the hell they call that thing, and you go kill a bunch of them, is it going to relieve your stress? Is it going to relieve your pressure? All the things that are making you fucking unhappy. Is it going to relieve it? And you know what? The answer is not. It's not going to relieve the stress. And you didn't show anybody anything. And don't confuse being famous and infamous, because those are two different things. Michael Jackson is famous. He's been dead for how many years? You can go anywhere in the world and mention that person's name and don't know who the fuck Michael Jackson is, or Madonna, or Prince. I can't remember the last mass murderer's name. I don't even know who the fuck they are. So don't confuse famous and infamy, right? And you're not teaching anybody anything, and you're not going to relieve your fucking stress. In fact, you're going to make your life stressful. You're actually working against yourself, because the goal should be to relieve your stress. And you're not going to relieve your stress by murdering a bunch of people. And that's what I would tell somebody who was contemplating mass murder. That you're working against yourself and you're not going to relieve your stress. You're going to create more stress. And then you didn't think it through all the way anyway. Because if you've never been to jail or prison, you have no idea what it's like. And your stress will not only double and quadruple, but it'll be exponential. And it'll be for a long fucking time with no way of being relieved. So you're not teaching anybody, and then killing the people in front of you are not really the people who's causing they're not really the sources of your problem. That's why, in this indiscriminate anger, that's why somebody can go in and shoot 8 and 9-year-olds, even if, and teachers that, people they've never met and never know, because it's indiscriminate. They're just angry. And they want to relieve their stress, but they don't know how to relieve their stress. And you can't relieve your stress that way. You're only going to increase your stress. You're only going to make yourself more unhappy. And so you probably shouldn't do it, right? And I know, because 20 years ago, I could have easily been that person in my mid-30s. I could have easily been that person. Right? I chose attempted. I didn't attempt. They'll tell me I didn't attempt suicide, but I could have easily been that person. I understand the thought of a mass murderer, and it doesn't relieve your stress. It just increases your stress. And so you should not do it. It's not going to help you. It's not going to solve the problem. No matter what your rationale is, it's not going to solve the problem. The goal should always be to relieve your fucking stress. And murdering a bunch of people does nothing but increase your fucking stress. So don't do it. Go figure out what the fuck is stressing you immediately and then address that. No, motherfucker, I'm not losing it. I'm trying to explain to you the thoughts, the general thoughts of somebody who's willing to commit mass murder. You know, and this is a serious topic, and all I get from you stupid motherfuckers in my comment section is just stupid goddamn comments, which is part of the reason why I engage people in the comment section, but why I don't like most of the motherfuckers that actually watch this channel. Because you're all fucking stupid. This is serious. Somebody went into a school and shot up a bunch of people. Somebody went into a supermarket and killed a bunch of people. Somebody went to a synagogue and murdered a bunch of people. Another person went into a school and another person went into a school. Somebody shot up a whole bunch of people in the park, and I'm telling you, they're all under fucking stress and they don't know how to address their stress. And maybe you know some motherfucker like that, and telling them, like, listen, you son of a bitch, what you're thinking about, what you're going to do is not going to relieve your stress. It's actually going to increase your stress. Because you're not going to teach anybody anything. And you're not going to be famous. You're going to be infamous, and infamous people are real easy to forget. So you really accomplished nothing. Nothing at fucking all. And that's pretty much all I got to say about it. I mean, that's the gist of it. That person's under a lot of stress, whether real or imagined, whether you agree with it or not. It gives no fuck what you think, because you're looking at it rationally, and that person's is absolutely irrational. And they're not rational about it. So stop trying to figure out their irrational motives and filter it through your rational mind, because it will not work. They're under stress. They're unhappy. They blame somebody. They want to get back at somebody, and they'll think it'll relieve their stress, and I'll show you, and you won't show anybody anything, and your stress is about to be exponentially higher unless you die in the process. And if your life sucks that bad and you can't come up with a solution, if you really want to relieve your stress that way, then you probably should just kill yourself. And then you won't have any more stress at all. But I'm not advocating that either, right? I understand that you can't get to the people that are really, that put these policies or rules in place, or that you can't get around. But killing that motherfucker on the street, that those people who made those policies and rules and things that you can't get around, well, those motherfuckers are still in place, right? And you can't get to them anyway. You don't even know where they live. You may not even know their names. They're isolated, or protected. So, but those are the people your real problem. I'm not advocating that you go murder them either, because once again, you're going to increase your stress. So you're going to have to find a different solution. Okay, that's all. I mean, is once again, you're talking about, it's a confidence thing, Mr. Collin. It ain't got shit to do with confidence. I'm telling you right now, it's got everything to do with being angry. I mean, like one guy when I was in the Army had noticed something in me. It's a white kid from Texas, tall white kid from Texas, real laid back guy, right? And he noticed in me. He said, like, Darren, when you get angry, like, you maybe get angry at this guy over here, but you just become angry at everybody. You become angry at the whole fucking world. That's pretty much verbatim what he told me. You get angry at the whole world. That my anger becomes displaced and really fucking indiscriminate. It's those kind of things and those are that's just the way that I see it, when it comes to mass murder. The person's under a lot of stress. They're unhappy, and they're not able to address that stress, and they're just blaming somebody else, and they can't get to the people who may put policies and things in place They can't get to those people. So you just kill whoever the fuck is in front of you. Like robbery and, and rape and theft. And you just robbing that person in front of you, because they're just in front of you. That's it. That's it. So that's my rant. That's what I think. I mean, and I've contemplated, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I contemplated mass murder. 20 years ago, when I was just so unhappy. But then, I went the other way. I thought about committing suicide because it did not make sense to kill a bunch of people. I could not make sense of it. It was not going to solve the problem. It was not going to relieve my stress. And if my life was so unhappy, no, man, I need to just kill myself. That's what I needed to do. I needed to kill myself. And so, I worked toward that end. Clearly, I'm sitting here, so it didn't happen. And I'm really better off for it because it didn't happen, because my life slowly started to go and get better as a result of me not doing that. And there's a whole bunch of things that I experienced in life that I would never have experienced in life had I wouldn't murdered a bunch of people or had I taken my own life. All that shit's temporary. All that stress is temporary. You just gotta take the time to figure out a way around it. And you gotta relieve that stress. And trust me, murdering a bunch of people ain't gonna relieve that stress. That's my 2 cents on it. And maybe this fucking video will go viral. Maybe it won't. Because not many people will ever admit, and it's probably maybe not in my best interest, right? But I think in terms of, I really always wanted to get this out to help people understand that, 20 years ago, I contemplated mass murder. And I just sat down and I just figured out that it just didn't make any sense. And I was very irrational then. Just the whole contemplation of mass murder is irrational. And so it just didn't make any sense. I couldn't make any sense of it. And so it left me one option, because I didn't think my life was going to change. I didn't think I was going to behave any differently. I didn't think I was going to approach things any differently. And I think I was just going to stay in the same position. So, and then suicide seemed like a much better option. I just didn't get it done. I don't think you're crazy if you, no, you're not crazy to be crazy. You go into Florida and you shoot up a gay bar, you hate gays so much, there's a reason for it. It's not crazy just to be crazy. There's a reason for it. What's the reason for it? You don't go to a synagogue in Pittsburgh, and I don't know who they were, and shoot up a synagogue in Pittsburgh or a park in, I think, Nevada or Las Vegas or wherever the fuck it was. Or, shoot up a school in Connecticut. Was it Connecticut? Or you don't go to Buffalo and shoot up a supermarket. You're not crazy just to be crazy. There's something else behind it. You don't go to a church in North Carolina or South Carolina and kill them people. Notice, I don't know any of these people's names, right? Right? You don't do that. You're not crazy just to be crazy. There's something behind it. Y'all just don't know what it is. I can tell you when I was 35, like I said, I didn't think my life was going to change, because I didn't think I was going to change. And I didn't want to have that kind of future. I just wasn't interested in it. And yes, and I got fired from a couple of jobs, and yeah, I blame some people because I was trying to do this and I was trying to do that. You kind of messed up that thing for me, and you really put me in the jackpot and destabilized me. Yeah. And I was just super angry. And I remember hell, shit, I was in Fulton County Jail for some reckless driving ticket. And I had to go see somebody, and that person told me, oh, I had told the jail people I was contemplating on murdering the judge. And so they took me to Grady or something. They took me to see some kind of shrink. We'll just use the colloquial term shrink. And the shrink just said, "Oh, you're just you're angry. You're angry, and you just don't know what to do with it. But you're angry. You're super angry, and it is, you know, this is the way it's manifesting, and it's, you know, it's irrational." You know, you just, you know, once you become less angry, you know, you just, you know, but right now you're just angry. Yeah, well, you know what? He was true. It was true. Grady ninth floor of mental health. No, it wasn't in the Mini Cooper. I didn't have the Mini Coopers then. I had uh I had split some lanes on a bike. So yeah, man. Like, listen, we're talking 20 years ago. I'm 55. We're not talking anything recent. If it was something I was thinking recently, I definitely wouldn't tell you. Um, but no, I just want you. I mean, I I think it's an important part of the argument that people are not understanding that this person is just really under a lot of stress, and what they need is some stress relief. And if you can just, if you meet somebody like that who's got these kind of thought processes and they're blaming people, and you get to the root of it, and it doesn't take many questions to get to the root of it, right? You don't have a job, you don't have the life that you thought you would have, and this and that. You don't challenge them. And what you challenge is, well, you're hurting this person over here. You're doing that to this person over here. How is that going to better your situation? I mean, address that problem first before you try to get them to do anything else. Get them, try to see if their mind moves that way to what you're saying. Because if it doesn't, you probably need to inform the authorities, because they're going to end up killing a bunch of people, right? They're going to do something. I promise you, right? If their mind doesn't say, well, dude, if you go over there and hurt these people, and you do that, how is that going to make your life better, relieve your stress? And then you wait to hear their answer. You're not giving them answers. You're waiting to hear their answer. And if they don't come up with something that says, nah, it's not going to make, you know, going over there killing them ain't going to make my life better. If they can't come to that conclusion on their own, yeah, you need to inform the authorities. Because once you come to the conclusion that hurting these people, it should, I can't say for everybody, but once you come to the conclusion that killing these people or hurting these people will not better your situation, and then also that if you do it, it's going to make your stress exponentially higher. If they can't come to those conclusions, yes, inform the authorities. They're going to kill a bunch of people, man. I promise you. It's coming. Whether it happens in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years. If they don't come to that conclusion, there's going to be a bunch of people that die. You're going to give me some coffee money? Man, this is for you, right? I've been wanting to tell people this for, man, probably 15 years. And people who've been around me and know me, uh, they've heard me say these things. But I've never, like, once I put them on the internet, man, it's just out there. And I can't pull it back. But I did it to help people. I told this story to help people understand mass murderers, and why, and possibly why it could happen. I'm no shrink, I'm no psychologist, right? And then possibly, you know, give them some arguments to maybe talk somebody down long before they get to that point where they're actually ready to do it. If you can talk to them and get them to understand that it won't alleviate their situation, and in fact, if they do, it'll make their situation worse. And if those people can't come to that conclusion, then yeah, you got to tell the authorities, man. You got to, because they're going to kill a bunch of people. So, okay. Did I say so? I said psychologist. Did I say psychologist? Sociologist, listen, man, I'm talking. Stop getting me I mean, I did this at the spur of the moment, which is usually how I do these lives. I think about some things for a minute, and then I just kind of get on here. No, but I did. No, I use regular body wash and Chic Slim Twin, whatever the fuck it is. So no, that's pretty much all I got for you, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say. The power came back on a couple of days ago, so if you got any questions, I answer some questions. If not, I can be done with this. Use body wash to relieve stress. Oh, all right, stop with the stupid commentary. I'm not under stress. I'm not under that kind of stress. There's some, I mean, like I'm down like $6,000 or $7,000 for the year, and it's things need to make a change, or I'm going to have to make a change. And I'm going to have to take I'm going to have to take 1 or 2 steps back. But we could still be in a slope. I mean, it should be picking up, but who knows? No, YouTube is not. But I've never done this. Like this video, I've never done this to make money. Money, No, but I'm not contemplating murdering people either. I'm not contemplating mass murder. That's 20 years ago. Understand when I say by 20 years ago. I've already told you it won't solve the problem. It won't solve the problem. Mass murder is not a solution. Do I attend church? No, but somebody told me I have a lot of qualities, from from the church. I think I'm not interested in killing a whole bunch of people, so don't. I wish I was a multimillionaire. Do you want to go to church and get a woman? Is that what you want to do? I'm talking about, self, Okay, like it's almost like you people just watched these videos yesterday. And the fact that the things that your mind clings to. There's a guy named Andre Norman. I want you to look him up. Andre Norman. Norman. He's been to prison. He's been to Harvard. And now he's a multimillionaire. And what he does is he talks to troubled youth. He's more qualified than I am. This is just what I came up with from me having to figure it out 20 years ago. This is what I came up with. And as I look at the landscape and and I don't really follow these stories. But every once in a while you just, something you just can't dismiss it. I mean, you just hear it. It just comes into your ear and you just can't ignore it. Not dismiss it, but you can't ignore it. And I'm just like, oh, these people are just under stress. And they don't know how to handle the stress, and they're blaming people. and they're unhappy, and nobody ever told them that, and they couldn't figure it out on their own, that they're just going to be up under a lot of, going to prison. A lot of stress, a lot of stress every day, incredible amounts of stress every day. No, just Mac. I wanted to own a Mac. Algebra is raggedy sometimes. In my pocket. If I put on my glasses, I won't be able to read this screen. Well, people under a lot of stress, and you just, I mean, I think I have a unique perspective because I understand it, because it's something I contemplated 20 years ago. It just didn't make any sense. Made no sense at all. I could not make sense of it. So I came to the conclusion it's just something that you shouldn't do. Won't achieve what you're looking for. So it makes no sense to do. If you want to walk over there, but you walk over here, or you go this way, how are you going to get over there if you're going this way? You want to go over there, but you're going this way. You can't get over here if you're going this way. So don't go that way. That's just what I came up with, man. All right. Is this an emergency broadcast? Why would the VA need to help me? I'm not having any problems. Well, why did I want to kill that judge? Because she didn't know the law. She wanted to suspend my license. At the time, I had a New York State license, lady. She took my license, and I'm like, hold on. The statutes, the Georgia statutes, clearly says that you can't take my license unless I'm 21 or under, or I'm outside those parameters, right? But she threw me in jail for 30 days. And that kind of messed up some things. I mean, I was able to have somebody else pay that rent for those 30 days, but that kind of messed up some things. And so, you can't suspend my license, and you can't tell me to do this. It's not even within your power. But it's later on that I found out in Georgia, you didn't to be a judge, you didn't even have to go to law school. I'm like, what? I don't know if it's the same now, but back in 2005 or 4, whenever that happened, yeah, you didn't even have to go to law school. And she didn't know the law. She wasn't even the main, she was like a relief judge, for the lack of the proper language or proper description. I mean, she's almost like a substitute teacher, So, I don't know, man, but I was just angry. And I remember telling those people, I also told those people, I figured out how to break out of the Fulton County Detention Center, but not the Fulton County, the Atlanta Detention Center, downtown. I also told them I figured out how to do that. They put me in 23 hours of lockdown. And I did 21 days of the 30 or some shit like that. So, and then I got on the phone and I called New York State, and I asked New York State if they would suspend my license, and I told them I was out of state. Can you send me another license? And they said they wouldn't suspend the license as long as I paid the ticket. So, And then I talked to the Georgia DDS, and no, the Georgia DDS says, no, we're not going to suspend your license because I didn't meet those parameters where they could suspend my right to drive in the state of Georgia. However, that person said, I advise you not to end up in her court again. So, or at least for the next year. So, no, have I ever shot anyone? No. I've never shot anyone. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, shooting somebody, you know, that's going to increase your stress level. You can spend a lot of money getting out of a legal shooting. Um, Cameras may alleviate that now to some extent, but you know, there's always cognitive distortion. You see the video one way, somebody else sees the video another. If you're not empowered to make that decision of how that video should be interpreted, we're talking to prosecutor now, because how you see it doesn't count, because you can't prosecute yourself, but how the prosecutor sees it is very important, because they're the one who can pull the trigger on that prosecution. Like the police can arrest you, but they can't prosecute you. The police can put you in jail, but they can't put you in prison. That's why I keep telling people the prosecutor is your biggest problem, not the damn police. I'm not telling you about the money on YouTube. It ain't that much. Trust me. The video will be saved. The video will be saved automatically. And I don't know, y'all can give it to the authorities about something I contemplated 20 years ago, if that's what you want to do, you know. I don't know what they're going to do about something I contemplated 20 years ago, and I came to the conclusion that it didn't make any sense to do, and I didn't do it. And that I did try to commit suicide. But that's about 30? It may have been more than 20 years ago. 2004? When was I 30? No, maybe it was about 2001, 2002. Yeah, that's when it happened. Right around, I mean, was it? It was after the 9/11 towers. So it's probably 2002 that all this was running through my mind. So that's 21 years ago. Not even 20, it's 21. So, yeah, I mean, feel free. I mean, I'm telling you what I think. Well, go ahead and turn me in. I don't know who's going to prosecute me, but whatever. I was ready to die. I was. I remember I went to see that James Bond flick with Halle Berry, and I remember telling the guy after I watched this movie, I'm gonna go kill myself, because I wanted to see Halle Berry come out the ocean in that bikini. But then after that, yeah, I did go try to kill myself. I didn't succeed. What do I need help for? We're talking about something 21 years ago. Shut up. Get out of my comment section. No, I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't even close to being suicidal. Not even close. I wasn't even close. So, I mean, I think if you share this video with some people, you know, I hope I gave you some. It gave you some. I tell you, I went to a gun range, and I had brought like 4 boxes of bullets, and I leased the gun from the gun range. And I said the last bullet out of every box, I was going to try to kill myself with the last bullet out of that box, every box that I had. And I kept looking down the line, not down range, but down the line. And in the next room, I just saw this little white kid. And I couldn't, I just couldn't do it. And trust me, it was something I had been practicing for a long time, a few years. To be able to, one, take the gun, put a round in it, point it at your face, have your thumb on the trigger, and look at that round in that chamber. And then I had been systematically um, I had been systematically uh, working on my mindset to where I was unconcerned about the effects of my actions and what people would think of me and how it would affect their lives. So I would assume that it would devastate my mother, and I had not to care. I had to teach myself not to care about that. Or people would call me a coward. I had to teach myself not to care about that. And I was doing that, and I had been doing that for a couple of years. And I looked, it takes something to take a gun, point it at yourself with your thumb on the trigger, looking at that bullet right in the chamber. That took a couple of years to be able to accomplish too. And this is all while I was, simultaneously thinking about mass murder, which wasn't going to solve the problem, which is why suicide seemed like a better option. Like I used to take one time I was walking across the street and traffic was coming. And so I just closed my eyes to walk slower so maybe somebody would just run me the fuck over. All kinds of things or driving at 100 miles an hour and trying to muster up the nerve to run that car into a tree. So I could just not be bothered because I didn't want to be bothered. Those are real crazy things. So more than prepare myself to try to murder a bunch of people, I had been working on my mindset to kill myself, because murdering a bunch of people wasn't the solution to my problems. And then, like I said, it didn't happen, and my life slowly got better, and I experienced things that I had not experienced prior to that. So, I mean, it's a hell of a thing to tell people, especially tell the world, and especially tell the internet, because the trolls will talk shit, but don't I know who I am, and I know what my truth is, and I know where I was at in life, and I know why. I know very well why. One of those things was I didn't want to be poor all my life. And it's not till like a couple of years ago, if you ain't got $250,000 in America in the bank, liquid, you're poor anyhow. But so I guess I didn't want to be impoverished. I didn't want to live on the bottom rung. And I just didn't have any solutions because it required a change in me that I didn't think that I could make. Yeah, that's what the security guy, when I took the security class, and that guy eventually got arrested because he was faking some credentials, but he was an ex-police officer. That part was true. But he didn't have the credentials to do some of the things that he was doing. And that's what he thought about me. He thought I was really, really resilient. Why would I take any pills? You're stupid. Stop saying stupid stuff in my comment section. I don't like it. I don't know, Chris, if I'm proud of it. I don't take any pride in it. It's just something that I went through. and something that I figured out when it comes to mass murder. Uh, that's all. But I don't know if pride's the word. I don't know what happened. It wasn't about money. Well, it was about money. Um, I would tell you that I was impoverished at the time, and I didn't want to be impoverished. 2001, 2002, and I had some money because I used to work for some cell phone company. I used to work in the middle of Lenox Mall, and I could make $1,000 a week. Uh, when $1,000 a week really meant something. It's just, these things happen, man. No, I mean, I don't know what happened. No, I have had a million jobs. I fit the profile. At the time, I definitely fit the profile. It's- I don't say a coward, Chris, did what he did. I say somebody very troubled, very unhappy, under a whole lot of stress did what that person did. And that nobody saw the signs, and nobody had the language to address that irrational mind, because they're trying to address it rationally. Well, this is what you can do, and you should do this, and you should do this. First, get them to realize that that's not going to solve their problem. And once you get them to realize that that's not going to solve the problem, and you can't tell them that you want to hear them come to that conclusion. You're going to ask them that question, Chris. Will that solve your problem? Will that alleviate the stress? Is that the solution to it? And what you're listening for in particular is you want them to hear. You want to hear no. No, it's not going to solve the problem. Well, then why do it? Because you want to solve the problem. You want to relieve your stress. And that's not going to do it. So why do it? And then you're listening, and you're trying to like get them to realize no, it won't solve the problem. That And so it's a non-starter. You can't do it. And then you get them to realize that it's actually going to make your situation worse. When you're looking for relief, you're going to make your situation worse if you do this. And that's what you want them to understand. And that's what you want to hear come out their mouth without you telling them that. Because if they don't get there, then like I said, call the authorities, Chris. Call the authorities. Let them know what's going on. Because that person needs some immediate attention. And somebody like Andre Norman, Andrenorman. You can look him up on YouTube. You can look him up on the internet. If you called Andre Norman or his organization and said, I know this guy, Steve, he's got this problem. He's just this, and this, and this. That man will get on a plane and immediately come talk to that person. Mostly kids. I don't know if he does adults, but definitely kids. He will get on the plane and come there. He's not said as much. He has said it. He has done it. Oh yeah, such and such called me and they said Steve had a problem, and he's just yada yada yada. He said, okay, don't worry, I'll be there tomorrow, and he's done it. I'm not qualified to do it. You need somebody better than me. Yeah, you should check out his book. He's got a bunch of interviews on YouTube, Chris. There's people better than me. I'm just like, what I like to tell people is I can start you off on any path if you just have no ideal. right? If you have no idea, and you got these thoughts, and I've been there. Uh, like people say, I can't give you. Well, how you gonna give career advice? Listen, first, I start you on a path. I'm not going to take you to the end. I just get you started down a path of thinking that you weren't on before, and then once you grow beyond me, you should go find somebody else because I can't get you to where you need to go. I already know that. But but you needed somebody to start you down the path, and now that I can do. That I can do, but I can't get you there. That's why I say I can't save anybody. You're gonna have to save yourself, right? I can I can maybe throw you a little assist, and other people will come along and throw you an assist, but ultimately you got to do the work yourself. Can't nobody save you. Can't nobody, you got to do the work yourself. I got to go where? I didn't try to save Kennifer. Kennifer didn't, if I, Kennifer didn't need saving. Kennifer don't need saving. That woman don't need saving. That woman is very self-aware. Okay. No, if you buy the mall back, you going, no, I wouldn't suspect that she would be. No, why would I go back to the mall? That's going backwards. This is something I've done, uh, and now it's over. No, I don't love her. I didn't love her back then. Do I like her? Absolutely. Did I think we should be married? Absolutely. But I never got to the point where I loved her. Just but insane. I thought that woman was would be perfect for me. And not really, but a little. But not really. Like like a woman can't use me, right? Because if you think I'm aware every place else, how come I couldn't be aware here, right? I give you what I want to give you, and if I don't want to give it to you, I ain't gonna give it to you. I'm not like hoping maybe one day she'll let me. Nah, man. I'm not that person. Okay, okay. You love the Atlanta videos. Okay. Mm. No, no. I mean, why go back and do something you already done? Aren't we supposed to be, moving forward? No, I don't have any kids at all. Oh no, y'all felt like Jennifer never felt creepy. That's your interpretation of it, but the people I was dealing with didn't feel it. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's why I just don't even pay. Could y'all just be coming up with all kinds of shit? I've already talked about Nashville. So if you want to hear what I had to say about Nashville, take that slider on the live and slide it all the way back to the beginning, and then you'll be able to hear what I said. Uh, who is a booster? I'm a secure courier when I'm working. That's part of the problem right now. Like I did something yesterday, but I ain't do nothing today. And like over a 4 week period, I'm down like $1,735. Jesus Christ. That's ooh. And I'm feeling every bit of it too. I mean, I can pay the bills and I can get my cash flow is still positive, but it's not positive enough. That's all I can tell you. It's not positive enough. Don't be stupid. Jeff was paying either 1,000 or 1,200. I think he was paying like. I think he's probably paying 1,000. He could have been paying 1,200, but definitely 1,000. Uh-huh. No, I don't know karate. I do like house music. I do like house music. Absolutely. Okay, rambling again. Let me scroll up here. I didn't profess my love. I told you that I'm very fond of the woman. I make no bones about it. You the one who's like, I don't know what to tell you. No, I'm not gonna vote for Trump. I guess she's in Atlanta somewhere. I know you got video. I know. Listen, you can't tell me how I feel about Jennifer. I like the woman. I will forever like the woman. But just, what do you do with it? Well, I'm right. I can't do nothing with it, so it's just nothing. But I said so in the video. Fuck off my. Why am I even talking to you? No, I didn't simp. I just told you I didn't buy her a food truck. Clearly, you weren't paying attention. Um, she got convicted of vehicular homicide. No, you never hear the word love. You probably need to go back and listen to those videos. While you're talking shit you don't know nothing about. No, I didn't exploit anybody. How did I exploit anybody? I mean, this whole channel, this thing is a. You're supposed to learn something from this channel. No, I don't love her. I like her though. I always like her. I know. Thank you, Jasmine. Telling people to kick rocks for me. If you do that, I appreciate it. Well, it wasn't entertainment, but I appreciate the $15. And you're a synthetic. Oh, okay. I see the keys. Okay. K Soul is gone. What is that? What do you mean stalking? She wouldn't even describe it as stalking. Well, Black Duel, I'm going to ignore your commentary for, I don't have moderators. I ain't even being bothered. But your commentary will be ignored forevermore. I may, on the regular videos, I may go there and just block your commentary. So you can post all you want, but, nobody will ever see it. Maybe that'll spill over to this. So, that's how you feel about it, Bagwell. I mean, but you say things, but the person didn't feel that way. That's what amazes me. Why in the fuck would I vote for DeSantis? Yeah, I mean, being rock. I mean, every once in a while, great while, maybe once a year, I might look him up on Facebook to see what he's doing, send him a message. There's no hostility. I don't know why you want to back it up. No, man. Is she in my house? No. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see the woman. I didn't get to see her that often. So you're damn right. I wanted to see her. So when I was able to see her, I went to go see her. Absolutely. None of the videos make me laugh. How you going to vote for Michelle or Obama? Neither one of them are running for president. Uh, why would you ask? No, I didn't go to high school with anybody you mentioned. I don't know. I don't think about it. And local politics and state politics affect you more than national politics anyway. Uh, I don't know. What Asian guy? You talking about Frank? Oh no, Rudy, if you're gonna pay for it, you better give me some money, dog. I already told you I was $1,735 down for a 4 week period. Then I'm like $7,000 down so far for the year. You can't alleviate that kind of stuff with $1.99. Look, man, if you want me to go ahead and hoe up, you got to pay up. You do it. I ain't no cheap date. Well, no, not a date. Let's back that up. Not a date. But I voted for Joe Biden, but I didn't want to. But it wasn't a vote for Joe Biden. It was a vote against Trump. So that's what I would tell you. It wasn't a vote for Biden. It was just a vote against Trump. Ugh, Biden. He's still with the. Well, no, that's what I'm telling you, TB. I ain't doing nothing. You ain't gonna get that out of me for $1.99. I mean, you can take that back if you want to, man. No $1.99. Man, come on now. You better get that money up, right? I'm giving you. You want some game. You got to pay this pimping now. What are you talking about? You got to pay this. Yeah, well, dude, you can go back and look it up. I mean, really. I left you hanging. What are you talking about? I know. Like yeah, man. $1.99, man. He don't, he don't hurt no kind of play for $1.99. Like, man, come on now. Maybe he should go hit the street and get some money and come back and pay a pimp. What the hell are you talking about? Damn. Okay, dude, man. You want that phrase, man? I'm gonna need, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna need 20. You want that phrase? I'm gonna need 20. I mean, I might as well just do this thing now, right? Y'all gonna, and listen, you had better leave it in there. I don't, you know what, dude? I don't like Florida. It all looks like the whole damn state looks like a resort town to me. I don't like Florida. Not, just the whole state from Jacksonville on down. No, I've been to Miami. I've been to Miami. Miami has more gated communities than a few because I would go down to Miami to hand out flyers. Flyers, yeah. I would drive I drove from Atlanta to Miami to hand out flyers. It was supposed to be a weekly thing that we were going to do, but the deal, he never got the deal. But $20 an hour, 20, yeah, $20 an hour plus fuel costs plus hotel costs. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So didn't happen though. And it was $20 an hour. Yeah, back in 2013. Hmm. Man, you people are stupid. Uh, I don't even know what happened to that ring. Yeah, there's people that died. I made a video about it. Uh, I mean, Domika got killed. Barry got killed. The police killed Juicy. Um, no, he died. He died. Oh, Demetrius. I forget Demetrius got killed. Yeah, this like 4 or 5 people. I don't know, man. I mean, it's not about the money. It's literally not about the money. And let me tell you something, man. And I said this in one of my live videos before. Like, dude, when I do things pure heart, just I do them because with the right intentions, the money comes. The money just comes. When I try to do things for money, the money never comes, right? So, and I didn't put this channel up to, really for like financial gain. I put this channel up so people could see some things, and I could change the narrative because the narrative for the videos that people asked, it was all wrong. That's why I shut down them channels. Piff, man, I ain't, you've been around. It's kind of strange. I couldn't milk a cow. You damn right, man. I've been to Wisconsin. No, I can't milk a cow. Fuck out of here. What I look like? I uh I brought fully into the system. Chicken come from Kroger. I don't know. You seem to be worried about this, dude. Don't worry about the whatever money I got. Worry about your own money. I don't know, man. I only seen $15 come through. Ray, you got to come up with 5 more. Matter of fact, man, I can give you my Cash App. You just hit me up on my Cash App. See? What females? What women? What women are you referring to? Are they still around? Juicy wasn't white. Oh, now you gonna cry, Ray? You gonna cry, Ray? Don't cry, Ray. I don't want you to cry, Ray. I'm letting you done. You letting me done? Ray, I don't have any tissues for your tears. What? Man. I got you, Ray. Ray, what you gonna do? You gonna cut it out and make make a clip, make a ringtone for your phone or something? What you gonna do with this audio that you want me to give you? Yeah, man. I mean, I don't have any tissues, man. I had to go get a roll of toilet paper for my man Ray, so he could dry his tears, man. furniture in this room. I need. Oh, what the hell's going on with Mr. White? Just to hear it live. Oh, oh. My mom doesn't know my name, Dorian. She doesn't even, she doesn't recognize me anymore. Like the last time I saw her, she kept asking who I was, and I told her I was Darren. She was like, and who are you? I'm like, your son. Are you really? You my son? Well, you had better such and such. Okay. And then like a minute or two later, she would ask me the exact same thing again. And so my mother should probably be with me, but I can't handle it. So she's with she's with a relative of mine who says that uh, she's not going to put my mother in any kind of facility. Because I thought maybe it was time for my mother to go into a facility because I couldn't handle it. But she wouldn't have any part of that. So, and I need to go back down, but I'm 1,700 down for the freaking month. And uh, it's just not enough positive cash flow for me to move around and do things like I need to. So yeah, this you know. So yeah. Who's Tank Dog? Who you talking to? Oh, brother, you kind of funny with security. That's kind of funny. I don't know, man. I wouldn't want you to claim me either. I'd be honest with you. You trying to claim me, man? You'd have a problem. Cause I don't go that way. You know, like I'm trying to go this way. And you want me to go that way, and I'm definitely not going that way. So, no, don't try to claim me, Matt. I'm not going that way, Matt. I'm going this way. I do this thing. It's 1,700. I don't know, man. I mean, what happens if I'm not going anyway? Oh, you got jokes, Matt. You got jokes. You got jokes, Matt. You act like you know me. I'm working on some things, Matt. I don't know if it's gonna work out though. That's all I can tell you. That's why I don't talk about it. I don't even talk to my friend about it that much, right? We'll just see what happens. I mean, sometimes women can make you crazy. Yeah, I got a video, uh, and I just don't want to cause problems for a whole bunch of other drivers. Um, when I had a problem with when I was working for the trucking company, and I know that trucking company goes through Ohio all the time. Uh, and there was this young trooper, and he was just, man, that boy didn't know anything, and he was by himself, but he needed to get back with a field training officer, because his response, because there's some information I'm like, I wouldn't give it to him. And I was on the phone with safety at the trucking company, and I'm like, listen, nah, man, don't. I'm not. Safety was trying to tell me. You tell him, like, nah, man. I'm not gonna tell him anything like that, and I'll call you back and I'll tell you why. I'm not making any statements, and I'll call you back and I'll tell you why. But and that trooper, young trooper, got mad at him. And after a while, I talked to him and I tried to explain to him the wisdom of not cross-drawing his taser, but setting it up for his weekend. But you could look at Ohio State troopers that have tasers; they still cross-draw. But you look at like NYPD, all those tasers are set up on their weekend, and that's and be honest with you, it's nothing I saw before I figured out that that's what I should do. And then I have made videos about it, and I know some NYPD officers watch this channel. At the time, I don't know if any watched it now, but at the time, they did. So whatever. But I see other departments set those tasers up on their the weekend. They don't cross draw, and there's a reason for that. But I've never seen anybody do it before I did it. Nowhere. No one was ever talking about it. So who knows? Okay. No, I don't need to build any cases. I mean, I'm not doing that kind of. I said secure courier. Well, you should send me a link to that channel if it's on YouTube so I can shut that damn thing down. Detroit is different than Atlanta. But reckless is reckless no matter where you go. The only thing, I don't like the urban decay in Detroit. I don't like, I never like to look at it. It's just, I don't like to look at it. But I don't like Michigan in general. So, I did pawn the taser. I did pawn, not the X3, but the one that I tased them with. I did pawn it. And you couldn't give me 20 for it, sir. You'd have to give me a whole lot more. I mean, like if you wanted to buy my X3 taser, yeah, you can give me $2,000 for it. I'll sell it to you. It will cost you $2,000 though. You sent me $799. When you send me $799, you know what? I thought you sent more than that. So, but the 20 you gave me 5 and you took back 5? Is that what you did, Ray? You gave me 5, you took back 5, Ray? Is that what you did? That's horrible, Ray. Why would you give me 5 and take back 5, Ray? Let me turn the volume down on this. Let's see if I can find out what's going on. No, doesn't tell me who gave me what. So I can't even tell you who gave me what. Yeah, when I pawned that taser and that Smith & Wesson that was in those videos. I had to pawn them at the same time. I had to pawn them at the same time. 2014 was rough. I paid my rent with that money. I paid my rent with that money. Nah, chill. No, I'm not doing like what you would think security would be. No, I wasn't looking for a fight. I'm never looking for a fight. I just wasn't backing down from one. That's the difference. You can't back down. You may not win, but you can't back down. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Someone said she had breast cancer years ago. I hope she's still living. I wouldn't want her to die. I did have to buy all my own equipment. No, the only foreign country I've ever been to is Canada. No, I'm not qualified for personal bodyguards. I'm not qualified for that. Who said I was broke? Being $1,700 down is not being broke. Trust me, if I can pay the rent where I have to stay right now, broke ain't it. Tasers do not cause breast cancer. All right then, Fernandez. Oh, I don't know, why is James Davis? No, 1,700 down does not mean that I'm broke. It means I can't do the things I need to do right now. It doesn't mean I'm broke. Broke is a state of mind, and I'm not broke. I'm just down. It's like I tell people like to call other people losers, and I tell those people, listen, you're only a loser when you stop trying, because that's when you lost. You stop trying. You may be losing, but you're not a loser because you're still trying. You're still in the game, and you're still trying to win. You don't lose. You're not a loser until you quit. That's when you become a loser, when you quit. It's not that I didn't hit my quota. I'm not getting the work. I mean, the work may not be, the work don't seem to be out there. I'm not getting the calls. They ain't got nothing to do with me being disagreeable. I mean, not last week, but the week before, I drove to New York. I drove to New York City like that. There was something that needed to be delivered in New York City. That saved that week. That run right there saved that week. And I made it happen. They wanted there by 3 a.m. in the morning, and they got there by 3 a.m. in the morning. So, stop telling me about the shit you don't know nothing about. Not enough. I was in the military, Mr. Majors. Miko Burrow, why? I watched that stuff a couple of times. I don't watch that stuff. It's been a while. Hood people shouldn't do it. Hood people shouldn't do it. It's dangerous. I got more contact. I ain't broke. But yeah, it's been a very unpleasant 3 months. I tell you that. Like, cause if I was working, I wouldn't have time to do this. Like, I did something yesterday, but I ain't doing nothing today. I did something Sunday, but I didn't do anything Saturday. Did I do something Friday? I mean, it's just not enough business. yeah, so last week I worked one, two, I worked 3 days last week. 31 Sierra. Yeah, I worked 3 days last week. That's all I did. One, two, three. And the week before, but see, those 3 days, that's the trip to, that's when I went to New York City. But I worked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's New York City that saved the day. But yeah, so and the week before that it was 1, 2, 3, 4. But those weren't great days, trust me. So yeah, the money's not there. So what can I tell you? It's day number 2 of the week, and I ain't doing nothing. And I'm used to working 5, 6, and 7 days a week, doing something 5 and 6 and 7 days a week. Like, Darren, I need you to take this thing 200 miles away, or Darren, I need you to take this thing 250 miles away, or Darren, I need you to take this 300 miles away, or Darren, I need you to run over here, pick this up and take this over here. It's like 5 or 10 miles, and or 15, 20 miles, and you can get 4 or 5 of those in a day, but I ain't getting none of those. So everything I'm doing now is pretty much long distance, and I ain't getting the money. I mean, and I'm not in control. I mean, it's not being dispatched to me, but they're not getting the money either. So it's a problem. So we're looking in about the next 6 weeks to figure out, you know, do I need to like start to pivot and do something else for a while? I mean, hell, I may go get a warehouse job or something, you know, do that for a little while until I can see if I can develop something else. Shoot, I was looking in Jefferson, Georgia. Jefferson, Georgia, Jesus Christ. Uh, so, whatever, man. I don't think I can do YouTube full time. No, I'm not driving trucks now. I don't want to drive a truck. Maybe, maybe in a few years. Amazon is always hiring. Um, but Amazon has a high turnover, and I'm not fast. I'm too old. Even when I was younger, I'm that fast, that really fast paced type of thing, and the way Amazon measures metrics. 30 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to work at Amazon. It moves too fast for me. Yeah, no, is it Jefferson, Georgia? Is it Jeffersonville? It could be Jeffersonville. Jeffersonville, Georgia. Yep, it's Jeffersonville. My bad. I'm not doing security. I'm not doing that kind of security. You have to pay me a lot of money, and they're not going to pay a lot of money to do it, so I'm not going to do it. What the hell is OBS? What are you talking about? Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I should be working on this. I mean, I'm talking to you now, right? Ray, man, listen, man, you just like Ray, you on me, man. Just back it up, Ray. Ray, just back it up. Leave me alone, Ray. And you can use that soundbite for your ringtone. So you just Ray, just back it on up. You just getting on my nerves, Ray. You just hmm. I know you, and if we talked about it 3 times, it doesn't stick to my mind because this is not a priority for me. Um, I'm not driving Uber or Lyft. Crazy. I talk about YouTube. I make these live videos when I think I have something important to say that may serve for the betterment of the public. I won't. Other than that, I won't do it. And I thought I could serve the public by talking about what happened in Nashville today and getting some people to maybe look at why some people do the things that they do. But yeah, I don't know. Well, nobody cares what you would trust. Yell at the trash. You want me to Bill Burr it? You want me to rant and rave? Hey man, I thought, man, maybe if I could do what Bill Burr does, but then I would be like a bad imitation of Bill Burr. So, and that would just suck. Kind of like the last Chris Rock special wasn't really all that good, and that's how I would be as a Bill Burr knockoff comedian, just ranting about stuff. I like Bill Burr; he's good. Uh, I would suck at it. I have something. I don't know what I have. I got about 78 people who just maybe find me interesting, but my anger is my anger is intense in the hallways. Like, no, I think Bill Burr's a pretty I think it's genuine. I think the guy is, that's why he's so funny. He's just able to work at his craft. He's good at his craft. I was good at hood security. I was good at my craft. Bill Burr is a comedian that rants. He is very good at his craft. I wouldn't be good at his craft. I'm 55, Mr. White. She did lose it. She lost a lot of weight. Why would I feel like a plantation overseer? That's kind of bigoted. I don't think you need an AR-15, Joe, Mr. Majors. I don't think you need an AR-15. Um, I think a regular hunting rifle will do. Uh, a shotgun. I think you should have a rifle, a shotgun, and maybe a couple of handguns. But I don't think that rifle needs to be an AR-15. That is truly, I don't, it's a weapon of war. I don't care how y'all want to spin it. You know, I mean that's what it. That's what the ammunition that it uses was designed for. That's what the weapon was designed for. Because that's what it is. You know, I don't think you really need it. I, I don't tell you, but I understand the people who I understand the anti-guns people backlash, you know, toward this particular weapon because it's, you know, like the Colt 45 used to be. It's America's favorite rifle. Um, of course, nobody ever wants to address the underlying problems, the income inequality, uh, you know, the lack of opportunities. Uh, you know, I watched The Problem with Jon Stewart, and he had this interview with this guy that used to be in the Obama administration. And I mean, and the guy is really trying to, you know, explain some things. You know, and I apologize, but, you know, Jon Stewart, uh, he really did beat, you know, this guy who used to work for the Obama administration up and got him to admit that capitalism uh, can screw everybody. I mean, because you got to think, uh, no one ever goes after corporate profits. Um, you know, the market demands everything. So you know, they act like they have to raise the prices of some things when they don't. Uh, all the earnings calls, like I think he said Shell Oil made like twice the money that it did the previous year, and that the shareholders' prices, I mean, the shareholders got 16.5% more, while working class Americans, whether you be the working poor or middle class Americans, they didn't see any increase. And the way to drive down the inflation was to loosen the working market. I mean, the labor pool. And I never know what that meant, loosen the labor force. Well, that means fire a bunch of people and put them on unemployment so the demand shrinks. But you never go after corporate profits. You always go after the working class, after the worker. And I thought that was real interesting. And there's no doubt that Jon Stewart is like uber knowledgeable, and he got this guy to admit that, yeah, you know. But anyway, you would have to listen to them. I can't explain it well enough. Um, but yeah, I don't know what Frank's doing. I can't give you an update like that. AR-15s are cool. You see me peeking. She has no obligation, so why does her friend need to be arrested? It could also make anybody rich, but you know, you have to be in position. You have to be in position to take advantage of certain things. And if you can't ever get enough money to be in position, now listen, everybody's focus is different. I think this is something that Rick taught me. No, it's not. I think Rick said this, and I don't know if it's something he came up with or if he got it from someplace else, because he saw a problem with even distribution of money. Rick saw a problem with that. He said your focus will determine where you end up. So I could give everybody the same amount of money, but the people who are rich now will be rich later because their focus is on the money, where somebody else's focus may be someplace else. Uh, and you know what? I thought he's right. He's right. If your main focus is making money and that's all you're thinking about and that's all you're trying to do, then that's all you're working toward. If you want a good relationship with your husband or wife and that's what you're working toward, and money is not your main focus, but having a good relationship with your husband or wife, and you actually achieve that, but you may not have as much money as this person over here, because they focused on money, and they may have a terrible relationship with their husband or wife. So it all depends upon your focus. But even with that, there's got to be a little more equity built into the system. Even with that, there has to be. So if laborers, you know, say, well, if the market says that Apple could charge more for phones because there's such a high demand for them, now they don't have to raise the price, right? But they'll raise the price because there's more demand and we can get it. Well, when workers do the same thing, like there's not as many workers and we demand more money for what we do, but corporations say, well, we can't pay that. But you need our skill set, so we're going to demand for what you do. They want to loosen the market. They want to fire people and keep a bunch of people in reserve. This is an argument. Keep a bunch of people in reserves. So if 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 you don't accept this pay, then I'll just fire you and put somebody else in place. So the game is rigged. I mean, the game is definitely rigged. And America is definitely not about employees. It's about employers, or even to some extent the self-employed. Uh, but the game is definitely rigged. And see, I'm just telling you what I heard and what I kind of agree with, but I am not the. Well, it may capitalism may give you a better chance if you're smart and you work hard, right? But you also got to get lucky, and you also got to be in position. You also got to be in position. But there needs to be more equity in there somewhere, and there is no perfect system. It's just, you know, what you decide more is a priority. No one's speaking against capitalism like you think I am. I'm just saying, listen, you don't have to have all the money. You don't have to have a yacht. You don't have to have a $500,000 house. You don't have to have, like, I remember I was delivering stuff for Laser Ship, and I came across this house in, was it Laser Ship? Or was it, well, wherever it was? It could have been in Michigan when I was doing Hello Fresh boxes. It could have been Laser Ship in Atlanta. But I came across this house. They had a BMW 850 and a BMW 750, 760 IL, whatever one it was. Both those cars are brand spanking new, or at least within the last 5 years, right? And that was like a year or two ago. Well, not last year, but uh, 2020, it was 2020 or 2021, one of those years, right? So, and then I remember one time I seen somebody towing their Porsche uh, 911 uh, GT3 with their Porsche Cayenne GTS. I mean, you don't have to have, in order for you to have that, to have that, you have to, somebody else has to have less. And like me and a friend had came to the conclusion, when you're starting a trucking company, the only way that you're going to make money is to screw the driver. You have to screw the driver over some. You have to. There's no other way to. There's no other way to make money. And the guy that I'm working with says that he doesn't make as much money off of me, which you know may affect the runs that I'm getting, but he doesn't make as much money off of me as some other people. And I'm like, that's because I understand the business. I understand what it takes to maintain these vehicles and then what it takes to replace these vehicles. So I'm not out here getting rich by no stretch of the imagination, but I have the money to maintain and or replace the vehicles when I need to. And I won't do it for any less. And then that means I can't get the runs and I can't make the money, and I may have to pivot to do something else, or maybe I need to go work in a warehouse for a while until I figure out some other things, because I'm not going to use my vehicles and not be able to maintain them and or replace them, right? Because it's an asset. And once the asset is gone, if it breaks or I can't replace it or fix it, then I'm just ass out, and that shit ain't gonna happen. That shit ain't gonna happen at all. It's not how you do business. And I know you don't like I close my eyes, but I'm thinking here, right? So I'm not media trained. I can talk to you about the transportation industry to some extent because I've done it. My van, I tell anybody, my van costs $1.09. My van costs $9 a day with full coverage to sit there. Just sit there. $9 a day if it doesn't move. But as soon as I move it, it costs me $1.09 a mile, and that's before I put fuel in it. So why would I move something for like $1 a mile? Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. You don't do that. It's not how It's not how you can't do it. Yeah, Joe, were you using your own vehicle? You made $85,000 using. Okay, so you're an employee, right, Joe? You're an employee, right? I'm not an employee. I don't know. Why would you think I was lazy? I mean, dude. I've driven as many as 1,200 miles in a day, and the only reason why I didn't drive like to the final destination is because it just wasn't going to be open. But that would have been another 350 miles, so that would have been 1,550 miles in a day. I don't think lazy. I don't think lazy covers it, sir. Even that drive to New York City was in the time that I needed to be there. Yeah, that's a little bit of distance. You know, I think in February I drove. I had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to get there by like 7. Or was it 1 o'clock in the morning? Whatever it was, it was 405 miles one way, 495 miles back, and then 100 miles to where I needed to be after I made the drop. So now I don't want to hear that shit. You can't talk that shit to me. Fuck out of here. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can drive 190 miles to one place, then drive 50 miles to another, then drive 235 to another, then drive 240, start the 240-mile drive back, but then get rerouted and have to drive like 50 miles or 60 miles from where you got the call, maybe 70 from where you got the call, pick that up, then drive probably 150 miles in, then drive 20 miles back out, then pick that up, and then drive 250 miles to drop that off, and then drive back. Don't talk that crazy shit to me. Hell, the CMDA or the CDMA, DOT wouldn't even let you do no shit like that. Yeah, that's if you're driving. That's if you're driving a truck. I'm not driving a truck, so I don't have those restrictions. Oh, so you can drive 1,200 miles in a truck. It's easy. Okay. No, but one, if you got a truck, you ain't no way in the world you're gonna be able to drive 1,200 miles. Not even possible. Um, Driving 1,200 miles by yourself after you've been up, you get the call at 6 o'clock in the evening to start, but you've been up since 7 o'clock in the morning. So you've already been up you've already been up 11 hours before you start this undertaking to drive 1,200 hours. Mac, you just talk crazy shit. You should probably just shut up. You're disrespectful. You can't drive 1,200 miles in 11 hours. No, you can't. Yeah, I said 1,200 miles. You said 12 hours. I said 1,200 miles after you've already been up arguably 11 hours. So, I don't know. I mean, Ray, what you doing, Ray? Okay, you can drive 12 hours and 11 hours. What does that mean? So, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight. And some people don't think of things this way. And if you drive professionally, even if you drive, recreationally or, just commute back and forth to work. So 10 miles an hour equals 5 seconds. So 60 miles an hour, it's a mile a minute. 70 miles an hour, it's a mile in 55 seconds. 80 miles an hour. This is if you can maintain these speeds. You can't you can't drop below. You have to maintain these speeds. 80 miles an hour in 50 seconds. So if the speed limit is 70 and you're doing 80 miles an hour and you can maintain it, you can lose 1 minute every 12 miles to your destination. You'll get there 1 minute faster every 12 miles to your destination. So if you're going 50 miles and you can maintain 80 miles an hour, you're going to get there. If you're 10 miles over the speed limit, whatever the speed limit is, whether it be 50, 40, 30, 25, if you're 10 miles over the speed limit and you go 12 miles, you're going to get there 1 minute faster. So if your destination is 50 miles away, you're going to get there and you can maintain 10 miles over the posted speed limit. And Google's fairly accurate about those arrival times. Uh, you'll lose 4 minutes. You'll get there 4 minutes earlier. So when you talk shit to somebody like me about stuff that I know about, like I may not have known that an ordinance was a law that could be a local law that could be prosecuted as a misdemeanor, because I was informed, I was taught that I couldn't enforce them, so I didn't pay any attention to them anymore because they said they weren't laws when they should have said they were local laws, but as security you can only enforce state laws and you need not be bothered with ordinances. So they should have articulated it a little better. But whatever the fuck, right? But now we start talking about transportation. Well, now I can start telling you about that because it's some shit I did, and you motherfuckers up here bragging about all the shit you can do. 1,200 miles is. Well, I know from Detroit to Atlanta, Atlanta to Detroit is 700 miles, and I'm not sure. I think it's 500 miles to Tampa Bay from Atlanta. I'm not sure. And so you would tell me you would tell me that you could drive from say Detroit to Tampa Bay, and you can run that 12-hour trip by yourself. I mean, not 12-hour trip, 17-hour trip by yourself. That you can do that. Well, one, if you got a CDL, there's no way in hell you can do it. So if you're driving a truck, there's no way in hell. If you're under DOT rules, there's no way in hell you can do it. And it is a big undertaking to drive that kind of distance after you already been up 11 hours. So stop talking shit to me. Did I stop and take naps? No, because you couldn't take a nap. It's hard to take a nap in the Mini Cooper. Trust me. It's hard to take a nap in the driver's seat of anything because the pedals get in the way of you stretching out anyhow. But no, what you have to do is stop a lot. So you take your 5-hour energy shot, and then me personally, I drink a lot. And so because I'm old, I'm in my mid-50s, it forces you to use the bathroom if you drink a lot. That means you got to stop a lot and use the bathroom. In the process of stopping and using the bathroom, it helps keep you up because you're drinking all the time. That means you're just doing something. So you're in motion, you're doing something, drinking. You're moving around in the car. It's help keeping you up, right? And because I don't talk to a lot of people like that's why you see truckers with earpieces all the time, because when you're talking to someone, you're engaged. It helps keep you up. Music doesn't really help keep you up that way. That should you won't remember the last song that you listen to. So, and when I drive, I'm pretty much by myself, and I don't really talk to that many people. So I can move the car around when I need to move the car around. I can do what I need to do. But that's how I do it. 5-hour energy shot, and you take that before you get tired. Before you start to get tired. Because once you start to get tired like that, that energy shot won't help you. Unfortunately, I would drink a lot of Pepsi. So I'm still drinking caffeinated products, and then I'm stopping a lot, which is helping me to stay up. And then once you get to a point where you're sleep broken, then you're all right. I don't know, you're not, yeah, you're all right. But I've done things that, sometimes that I shouldn't have done. Because there's times in my life where I've driven and I was completely unaware of what was going on. Like I've been unaware driving down off ramps with curves, and I would get to the bottom of the off ramp, and I had no idea where the fuck I was, or even how I got down there, which is dangerous. So, but it didn't happen during those 1,200-mile trips, because I kept getting out the fucking vehicle. Makes the trip longer, but I got everything to where it needed to be when it needed to be there. So there's that. Oh, you drive tankers. How in the hell am I driving? Do you not see this wall back here? I don't have a manager, Lou. I'm self-employed. You do know that, Lou, right? I got somebody I work with, but that somebody set me on that 1,200-mile run. It's either It's either you get the money when it's available or you don't get it at all. I know. I got a Class A CDL, sir. It's just inactive. That's all. It's not suspended. It's just inactive. Like my DOT is is not current. So my CDL is inactive. But yeah, I mean, I got a Class A CDL. Don, I thought we answered this question. No, I've never driven for Amazon. I said laser ship, and then I was delivering HelloFresh boxes in Michigan. Which, by the way, that company's out of St. Louis. $1,500 a week with about a 23% fuel cost. Yeah. Don, we've answered that question. Yeah, there's like one, two, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 that I know of. Maybe 6. Well, Lou, no. I mean, we were talking about Nashville earlier. I'm just answering questions, Once I say what I say, and that may only be 15, 20 minutes after that, I'm just answering you guys' questions. I'm not really rambling. I'm just telling you what's going on. Uh, no, I mean, a lot of them went to college students, people who were busy. Well, I was working for a refrigerator company, so, and I would, we would pick up, like, we would go down, like, I would pick up chicken in Iowa. Was it Iowa? It could have been Iowa, man. Sometimes, you know, I would go down to Kansas to National Beef and pick up, if we had trailers at National Beef, and you drop off and empty and you pick up, yeah, man, those trailers were heavy, dog. Trailers were heavy. I delivered, I used to hate that too because they weren't in pallets. They just like say they would just, I can't remember what it was, but say they would just load up corn onto the trailer, just all loose. And then, I take it to some farm in Ohio and you know, I dropped the trailer on something that could lift up the whole trailer on this farm and just dump it out. And I think they they processed the vegetables for some maybe Campbell's soup or something. But they would just dump it and then man, you'd have to go get that thing. I mean, well, every time you always have to get a reefer washed out, but that thing was such a pain in the ass. Even though I wasn't doing it, but it took them so much time to do, because it's stuff be grinded in there. Um, Carrots, it was carrots. That's what it just be a trailer full of loose carrots. The beef was heavy, the chicken was heavy. Sometimes we move some liquor. What, 80,000 pounds for the total weight of the vehicle is the max. Yeah, I'm not, why would I go back and do that? No, Isaiah, I would never work at the mall again. I mean, sometimes you can't listen. I mean, I worked at the mall, I did some other security gigs. I was able to, go into trucking and I did trucking. My mother got sick. I got out of trucking. I brought a van. I started doing last mile delivery. Then I was able to go back and work with, do some courier work, some secure courier work that made sense to do. Uh, that when it's paying, it can pay well. I'm just not getting the business. But when it pays, it can pay me well. I mean, I love to charge you more, but we came to an agreement, and so I mean, I'm not unhappy if I'm working. I'm not unhappy now, but I'm, I'm not working, and so that's not good. Where in what state? Because Georgia doesn't have, as far as I know, mutual combat. There's no mutual combat law in Georgia, as far as I know. But you know, all depends on if anybody wants to do anything about it. Because DoorDash doesn't make any money, Rye. It generates money, but it doesn't really make you any money. So what is it like? So the government's like 55 cents. Is it 55 or 65 cents? They'll give you 65 cents a mile to reduce to um, off your taxes. See, I have to think about this stuff. I mean, because I'm losing the language. So the government will give you 65 cents a mile. So you do 10 miles. What is that? Like $6.50. But but if you're doing DoorDash doesn't do anything. It generates money, but you don't make any money because you have to save for maintenance, and then you have to save for replacement of your vehicle. So I ran into one cat uh, doing Lyft, and I guess he was doing all right at it. But he's willing to pay about 8,000 for a new vehicle, 10,000, 8 to 10,000 for another vehicle when he wears whatever vehicle he has out. But he saves $30 a day for replacement of the vehicle. So I don't know how much you make at DoorDash. Say you make 100. So you have to replace the fuel, whatever that fuel cost is from that 100. That's minus. You have to save $30 a day for the replacement of the vehicle when you wear that out. That's minus. And then you have to save for maintenance for your consumables. So your brake pads and rotors, you probably drive a front wheel drive, so you don't have to re-grease the rear axle. But you probably drive an automatic, so you need to do a transmission drain. Can I say this again? A transmission drain, right? And then you need to do a coolant flush. You're using this vehicle commercially, so all this preventative maintenance you should do, right? That takes money, and you got to set that aside. You know, if you got tires, well, you do have tires, but if your tires cost you $1,000 for a set and you rotate them every 5,000 miles like you're supposed to, actually the use of those tires to replace those tires is 2 cents a mile. You got to save 2 cents a mile. Oil changes every 5,000 miles should be fully synthetic, not blended, not fully synthetic, 100% synthetic oil. And it's usually about $60 at Walmart, right? That's 2 cents a mile. So now you're saving 4 cents a mile. You know, so every so often your windshield wipers need to be replaced. But then, like I said, the brakes and how much does it? If you can do the brake work yourself, and you're willing to do that, then it's just parts, and that will reduce your cost. If you can do the coolant flush yourself, then that's just coolant. If you can do the transmission drain, not flush, but transmission drain, and you replace the screens. And I swear to God, that person, you watch them when they do that transmission drain, because if that bastard flushes it, you go over there and kick his ass immediately and take that charge, and because that transmission is probably gonna slip because they flush some of the dirt out of it. You know, don't don't flush your goddamn automatic transmission. Just drain it, and whatever dirt it carries out, metal shavings or whatever it carries out, comes out, and then put in clean screens and just replace the fluid, right? And then about every 60,000 miles, or if you don't want to do it every 60,000 miles, right, every 80,000 miles, change your brake fluid. This is what it costs to take care of these vehicles, right? Because you're using them commercially. And all that stuff comes with a price. Figure it out what it is. If you got a vehicle with 80,000 miles on it, or say you got a vehicle with 50,000 miles on it, and you want to replace it at 120 or 130,000 miles on it, so if you want to replace it in, say, 80,000 miles, how much are you willing to spend on that vehicle? Well, what is it? 8,000 divided by 80,000? How do you do this again? 8,000 divided by 80,000? You need to save 10 cents a mile. And by the time you finish 80,000 miles, you'll have $8,000 and you can replace that vehicle. But the guy's metric of $30 a day, if you save $30 a day, 7 days a week, for a year, I think you come up with right around the same thing. Hold on. Clear 365 times 30. And 10,950. So that's what he was willing to do, right? Right around there, because he said like $10,000. So there you go. So if you save $30 a day for a year, you'd have $10,950. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm telling you how to maintain a vehicle when you're using it commercially. What difference, what kind of vehicle it is makes. Why am I getting that stupid commentary? In fact, mine's a BMW product. So every time it breaks, it costs me like $2,000. Well, Jay, I'm talking about using a vehicle commercially. You're using your vehicle to make money. It's pimps and hoes, and whatever, somebody's pimping you and you pimping that vehicle, right? So you a hoe for the company, the car a hoe for you. But in this scenario, the pimp don't get paid first, the hoe get paid first, because if the car goes down, and you ain't got no backup vehicle, if you only got one bitch and the bitch takes sick, you ain't making no money, right? So you ain't got it. So you should have a backup, but and you should never do Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or Uber Eats or none of that stuff if you only got one damn vehicle, because you're gonna wear it out and you can't live off the maintenance of your vehicle. Now, there's some people in some markets that make a real good buck at it, but most people don't. My cousin did it with her Audi, and she was making like $1,000 a week. But man, she ran the fucking value right out of that damn car. So, and when it comes time to repair them things, man, that shit ain't got cheap. I'm just saying, man. Well, listen, I drive a Mini Cooper because I like the driving dynamics of the vehicle. If I was being practical about it, I'd buy a Toyota, right? There is no money in a lot of delivery except what I do. Except what I do. And not even people doing something similar to what I'm doing make the same kind of money, because there's courier companies I generally wouldn't work for a courier company. Or work with, not work for. Work for is the wrong word. I wouldn't work with the courier company. I wouldn't contract on the one. I normally wouldn't do it. It's not enough money there to do it. You would be living off the maintenance of the vehicle, and you wouldn't be able to repair or replace the vehicle. And once you ain't got it, they don't need you. They just move somebody else in a position. So, nah. And then you wouldn't have any freaking vehicle. Now you've got to catch the MARTA or some shit. Get on the train. Psst, please. You're not doing no thing like that. Yeah, but Isaiah, you can deal with that stuff in San Francisco, but California laws are definitely different. Yeah, the lifespan of a vehicle doing gig work, if you can get to 3 years, dog, that's incredible. But you shouldn't figure it out in years. I'm going to tell you, you should figure it out in miles, right? So I didn't change the timing chain of that Mini Cooper because I wasn't told for the base models that you needed to do that. So that car got 160,000 miles on it. Now, me and my mechanic are beefing because I take something to get fixed and then I drive it back. And on the way back, which is 50 miles back, something else is wrong with it. And so I'm looking at you kind of sideways a little bit, right? And then I go get that fixed. And then on the way back, something else is wrong with it. Okay, well, now this is a pattern and I can't fuck with you like that no more. And so you need to give me my other car back and we get that straight. And then I'm just kind of done with this, right? Because that don't make no fucking sense to me. Um, but I ideally want to get every car to at least 200,000 miles since I'm not doing a lot of stopping and go driving. Uh, but now I do spin my cars out a little bit. I will wind them out. Uh, I try not to do that as often because I need these things to last. And so that's why when I brought another Mini, I didn't get the base model with 122 horsepower. I went ahead and got a turbo, which could be more complication, but I don't have to spin it out. I don't have to spin it out and wring its little neck to move it like I did the other one. So that even with the increased cylinder pressure, which will wear out an engine faster, I should be able to get it to 200,000 miles. And I buy cars around 80,000 miles. My Minis around 80,000 miles, not over 80, not over, definitely not over 100, because I don't know if that person changed that timing chain like they were supposed to at 100. And so I make sure that I get them like around 80. And so I make sure that timing chain is changed. But you got to know what you're buying. And like I said, if you're really going to do it and and you don't care about the driving dynamics and you can do it out of a car, go buy a Toyota. I didn't have a lot of fights. Yeah, manual cars, I mean, the transmission, I mean, well, that 122 horsepower Mini thing, I think has a clutch from like a faster Mini because, dude, that car at 160,000 miles is still on its original clutch, which is, really? The lifespan of a commercial truck is about 3 years. Well, we're talking about cars. Uh, a million miles on a commercial truck? A million miles? I mean, but right around 750, you're starting to fix stuff anyway, but then you could buy one brand new and have to fix a truck. I was driving a 2019 and it was an automatic truck. And so if your air pressure is wrong, the transmission won't engage right and it'll just buck because it's not building up pressure. So the truck would just buck. And I was in Arizona when that happened. And so I had to, the truck, the truck bucked all the way to to whatever the next TA was. It was a brand new truck, man. They had to replace part of that air system. But so yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, 1,000,000 miles on the truck. But most mega carriers are getting rid of those trucks after they come out of warranty, and they usually be about a 500,000 miles on them. So you could probably get another 500,000 miles on it. No, it didn't derate. It bucked. I mean, the transmission just bucked because I guess somehow the air you had to have enough air pressure for the thing to stay engaged. I mean, I've had like a truck derate in New York City because it didn't regen. It didn't regen, so it derated, and you had to regen it to clear out the diesel filter or whatever filter, but it didn't regen. Well, Russ, you got a goddamn question? I mean, people are asking me. We went to transportation, but you got a goddamn question about the mall. It's a reasonable question. I'll fucking answer it. How about that? Your water heater? What the hell is a water heater? I have watched Pimp Docs for sure. Well, you know what? You can actually look Santana up on Facebook. He's on Facebook, dog. You can look him up there. They're going to make a movie. It's just, when, and I ain't going to have nothing to do with it probably. Okay, inviting people to, well, listen, man, don't bring, the kids withstanding, man, you know, whether you like it or not. Like, you're going to threaten me. I'm like Ice-T in the sense that we ain't got to wait. We can do it now. And if you go back, if you go away and come back, don't bring your fist to a gunfight. Bring your gun now. Don't play no games. We ain't playing no games out here. You got to be willing to commit murder, right? Cause I'm gonna draw my firearm. So you want to bring your fist to a gunfight? Feel free. You want to bring a knife to a gunfight? Feel free, right? A knife's a contact weapon. A gun is a distance weapon. So I'm gonna maintain some distance. I don't know what to tell you people sometimes, man. Y'all really don't think that much, I believe. Yeah, I'm from New York. I don't know. You could make a movie about the mall, and I couldn't get no cut. It all depends on what you do. I think the most, I, I don't know. You can look it up. You can look and see if Fred's locked up. Why are you asking me questions? Why do you want me to do your research? Just go find out if he's locked up someplace. So the guy, no, man, I'm actually having a bad. I mean, every day's bad when I ain't making no money, but no, man. I mean, I've been with you guys for a couple of hours. What time is it? People have come and gone. It's like 9:30 at night. When did I start this? 145 minutes ago? Yeah, man, that's 2.5 hours. Superman had a bad day every day. Glad you remembered the title. Can you still not teach stupid people? I don't know. I don't think you can. Apparently, you pay attention. Uh, you, you can't fix stupid. Stupid's gonna have to fix itself. I mean, if y'all ever want to hold on to a line, hold on to that one. Oh, I can't fix stupid. Stupid gonna have to fix itself. I mean, I stop arguing with stupid because I can't fix it. It's gonna have to fix itself. That's a hell of a line. I can't fix stupid. Stupid gonna have to fix itself. No, but I keep threatening to do stuff, right? And I should be doing it because part of this job is what I'm doing now. I just sit around and wait until I get a call. And when I don't wait, usually when shit happens, like I should have went to the supermarket. Damn, supermarket closed at 10 o'clock. I had to go to another supermarket to close at 12, but this one closed at 10. Shit. All right, I'm gonna give you a few more questions and I gotta go because right now I gotta use the bathroom. So, what you got for me? Because if you got nothing, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Yes, very much on call. Very much. I've gotten calls at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. 2 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night. I need you to, 10 o'clock at night, I need you to go over here and deliver this to a shed next to a train track at 2 o'clock in the freaking morning. It's like, you want me to do what? And literally, I mean, it's a shed next to a train track on a dead end street. Man, so many things could go wrong. Am I afraid of the future? I'm late in my life cycle. I don't suspect that the world will change radically for me before I die. The thing that worries me the most is how comfortable will I be until I get to the end? But I pretty much accepted that I'm probably gonna have to work damn near till the end, which is not good. So there won't be no retirement for me. All right, people. I gotta go use the bathroom. So I made my statement for the day. I've enjoyed talking to you. Have a good night. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. And then I gotta go to the supermarket because my refrigerator's empty.